Hi, Alex Plus LEDs here, and this is the RGB Man kit. So it comes with 8 sidebars per side and 2 chin boards. And for power, we have a micro USB connection here. It comes with a 2-meter long micro USB to regular USB cable. So, this is part of the kit. You could disconnect it, you could swap it out, whatever. And so that's the kit. It also comes with a little controller here. Let me zoom in here, or focus down on here, that lets you adjust the chin mode, and you could increment or decrement the sidebar modes. And this is the entirety of the kit. There's no control PCB. I did some work to bake everything into the small chip here. So all of this functionality is controlled by this chin board. So that being said, if you wanted to run these sidebars without a controller, without a chin board, kind of can't do that. The electronics here, or the controller here, has all that baked in. I'll go into that in a moment, but there is a way you can kind of disable these chins, and you could tuck them away, hide them in your helmet, whatever, and just use the sidebars. There's a way you could keep the chin LEDs completely off. So, without further ado, here I have the micro USB cable, and it comes with a right angle connection here, so you could stash it inside your helmet pretty easily. Let me go ahead and plug this in and show you kind of what the animations look like. So, as you can see here, each one of these sidebars is a different color, and of course it's mirrored on either side. These are RGB LEDs, so you no longer need like a color filter over the top of this. All you need is a little bit of diffusion, and it works a treat. Same thing with the bottom here. You have white color, and then you have red, yellow, and green here. So that's kind of the whole gist of what this kit looks like. So let me play around a little bit with the control board here. So I'm going to hit the chin mode button. As you can see here, we've turned on the LEDs, or we've locked the LEDs all on the chin board. And press it again, turn them all off, press it again, back into animation mode. So let me go ahead and turn off the chin boards, leave them alone, and move on to the sidebars. So as I press the plus minus button, you'll see that the sidebars quickly flash RGB, or they flash their colors, as you increment through these various modes. I have a separate video that kind of goes over what all of these animations look like. I leave it in a demo mode and have it just show all the animations. When you boot up the whole kit, it kind of stays in demo mode, and the animations increment one, but another, until you toggle the buttons here, as I'm doing here. So here are all the pretty animations, pretty colors, etc. Right? You can click through them, and I wanted to get this one to show kind of all the colors are lit up on both sides here, so you could kind of get an idea of what this would look like. Okay. And then let me move on to, let's spin this around. Let me move on to some of the color changing modes here. So as you can see, there's some color sweep modes that, I wasn't able to do previously because I had white LEDs in my previous kits. So there's various, color cycle modes that are possible. And, once you reach the end of the available modes, there's 27 different modes, right? I'm clicking the plus button here. You can see that. Maybe not. Let me try this again. Come on. Focus, please. There we go. Plus mode button. Keep clicking that. Nothing happens. We're in the maximum mode. So if I decrement, you could see that the animations change as I keep clicking here. Right, and you could click this pretty quickly. Right, and modes are no longer changing. We're at the very first animation. One note is that when you get out of demo mode, that I previously mentioned, that all animations cycle, there's no way to get back into it unless you power cycle the whole thing. So just an FYI. So you could increment modes like that. So this little controller, completely part of the kit. What you can do if you don't want to use this, so this comes on a little bit of cable here so that you can mount this, further away from the chins, wherever it's more convenient for you. You don't have to use it. And let me spin this around and show you how it's connected. So back here, let me see. You guys see that? Zoom in here. All the way in. Oh, there we go. So here, the control board, the remote, kind of, is connected here. And if you want to disconnect it, you don't want to use it, cool. Just pull down on these little tabs here, and you can pull this out, and, set this aside. If you don't use it, don't use it. There are buttons on the back here that allow you to pretty much do the same function. So you could, increment your modes, decrement your modes, right? And if you look at the chins, right, you could hit the chin mode, does the same thing. There is a way that I previously mentioned. So there's a way to kind of disable the chins. When you power it on, chins won't turn on. This is only if you want to use the sidebar boards, chin boards, keep disabled. If you add a jumper here, if you add a little bit of wire between these two contacts here, it'll prevent the chin boards from ever lighting up. So it's a disable function baked into the design, and it will, keep the chin boards off until you remove that link. So another function here that the little controller board doesn't have here is actually this color edit button. You see that here? So what this does is it allows you to tune the individual color of each of these sidebars to your heart's content. You could change it to whatever color you want. The base colors, are pre-programmed. You could change them pretty easy. So let me go into how you would do that. And let me make this a little simpler. These connectors here, you could just disconnect like that. I don't recommend disconnecting them more than maybe 5 times. Eventually the silver here on the contacts will wear out and you'll get a bad connection and, it won't work. So let me set half of this kit aside so you can only see this. So let's go ahead and dive into the color mode button. So what does it do, right? It lets you change these colors to whatever you want. So to do that, all you need to do is press and hold the color button and let go. And you can see that I've selected the bottom sidebar here, so this red one. If I press it again, the next one up is selected. Press it again, next one, again, next one, next one, next one, right? That's how you can increment the colors. So if I want to change the colors, right, I'm going to go ahead and stay with red. You could hit the plus button here. If you hit it enough times, you can see the color change. So right now I've changed it to green, right? I keep clicking it, or I press and hold it. It'll cycle through all the colors. And you can make this whole display, you can make all these LEDs red, you can make them all green, whatever color you want, you can do it, right? Keep incrementing it. Okay, I set it to blue, cool. I want to now mess with this one, right? Push the color button, right? Now I'm messing with this one. Let's say, hey, I want this one to be blue as well. So there, that's blue enough for me. Cool. And let's say I want these to be, I don't know, red. How about red? Come on. There we go. That one's red. Cool. So I'm done setting the colors on the display here. And now I want to kind of get out of this color edit mode. So to do that, go ahead and press and hold the color button here again. And then release it. And now you're in normal, operation mode, right? You have all the animations that you could see here. One thing is that when you power cycle the display, the colors when you power cycle the kit, the colors here remain. So there's a little memory inside here that'll remember all the colors that you set up. So power cycle the board, same colors. So let me do that. Right, same colors are remembered. But let's say you messed it up, or you want to change your mind, you want to go back to the default colors. Easy enough. So disconnect this little cable here. Cool. Press and hold the color button, and then plug the cable back in. And when you do that, the display will stay off, as long as the LEDs will stay off as long as you keep holding the button. You release it, and you have all the default colors right back. So that's kind of how that works. And then you can, toggle all the animations. One note is that the animations, the animation mode is not saved during a power cycle. So if you turn off the display, either, turn off the LEDs, either unplug this cable or on the other end of the battery pack, it will not remember animations. So you have to, click through it to, get back to your animation. One note about the color button, it does not impact the color of the chin LEDs. It's only designed and, intended for the sidebars. So let's see, anything else? Yes. So up here, there's a power in and out connection. So if you wanted to power, I don't know, a cooling fan, something else, from your single battery pack. So, right, this is powered by battery bank. You can pick these up pretty much anywhere. Make sure you get one that is 1.5 amps or higher. 2 amp rated is what you really want. Anyway, back to these pads here. So these pads get power from here. So you can solder, you could solder something else. You could solder something else here and power it from the same USB battery bank. The other reason you might want to mess with this is that, let's say you don't want to power the kit with a USB powered battery bank. You want to power it with battery. Cool. So if you take a 4.5 volt battery pack, either 3 C cells or 3 AA's, something like that, hook it up here, flip the switch, and you could inject power into the whole kit instead of using the USB cable. I recommend using the USB cable, USB power bank. It's simpler, it's rechargeable. The cable is long enough that you could hide it in your pockets, and that's kind of the intended use case for this. So let's see, does that cover everything? Oh, so these PCBs actually break apart. So I know I've been showing it, as this unit, as this monolith of LEDs. You can actually break it apart, and let me show the process to do that. So basically take your LEDs here, keep your hands away from this edge, and you can just break them apart like that, right? Pretty simple. And then you're left with this little piece that you could break off with pliers, whatever, or leave it. Doesn't matter. Okay, and then when you do all of this, you're left with, the bottom sidebar all the way to the top, and that's pretty much it. There's links below to find this kit for sale. There's a link below to show what this looks like when mounted into sidebar housings with diffusion material applied. That's pretty much it. If you have questions, leave it in the comments. I'm happy to quickly reply. Thank you for watching.